Well, hi again. Great to be with everybody at Block. Yeah.
Block Live Asia, yeah.
Okay, so if we, this is Plutus. Oh, sorry, this is me, Anthony Johnson. There's a bit about me. I've got a banking background, merchant banks. I've been an advisor to a number of fintech and tech startups, including Nauticus Blockchain, Empire Hotels. I was a co-founder and CEO of Dice Money, which is a crypto startup based on a blockchain platform. I'm also recently been the regional board director of the Global Association for Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. And I'm also currently the CEO of a blockchain payment startup called vTransfer. So that's a bit about me. If you want to find out any more about me, you can reach out to me, please, at LinkedIn. Sorry, next slide, please. Thank you. Right, so looking at the slides, obviously you can see it's about Plutus Capital. In the beginning, we launched Plutus Capital in 2019. Plutus Capital is a digital financial ecosystem built on blockchain technology. Now, Plutus Capital is made up of two parts, the Plutus chain and the Plutus Lending App. It goes into a bit more detail here. The Plutus chain, for example, is the proprietary blockchain capable of 100,000 TPS. That's those are the stats from testnet. And it's a decentralized, sustainable network with fair governance and community intelligence. In terms of the Plutus chain, it's a decentralized system comprising of a community of developers and engineers who work on the chain and the platform. There's also the user platform, and then there's the coin rewards pool resulting from user activity. Now, in terms of how the, sorry, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, in terms of how the Plutus Lending App works, I mean, we've broken down on the diagram there how the whole app is broken down. But basically, the Plutus Lending App is built by Plutus Capital on the Plutus chain. The app allows investors to trade in crypto assets and earn a passive income by giving validation inputs for transactions executed on the Plutus chain. Stakeholders of the Plutus app will be able to borrow funds in a secure, transparent, and rewarding manner through the Plutus Lending App. Now, can we go to the next slide, please? Right, now the enabler, which is PlutusSwap. PlutusSwap, based on Plutus Capital's vision of banking the unbanked. The PlutusSwap was launched by the dev community to bridge the gap between existing fintech and DeFi solutions. Now, the end goal is to produce a digital, friction-free, open-sourced, equitable financial system. With PlutusSwap's upcoming AMM launch, it will be integrated into the commercialized Plutus Capital Lending App. Now, if I go back to explaining what the AMM is, it's an automated market maker. And an automated market maker is a type of decentralized exchange, a DEX protocol that relies on a mathematical formula to price assets. Now, instead of using an order book like a traditional exchange, assets are priced accordingly to a pricing algorithm. Now, an AMM works similarly to an order book exchange in that there are trading pairs. For example, ETH or DAI. However, you don't need to have a counterparty, that is another trader, on the other side to make a trade. Instead, you interact with a smart contract that makes a market for you. Next slide, please. Thank you. PlutusSwap integration with Plutus Capital. Now, how will PlutusSwap be integrated into Plutus Capital? Well, first of all, we better explain what is PlutusSwap. Well, after seeing the recent growth in yield farming within the DeFi space, the Plutus Capital community has decided to launch their own yield farm based on Plutus Capital's vision. Yield farming, just to explain, allows people to earn fixed or variable interest by investing crypto in a DeFi market. So, for example, investing in ETH is not yield farming. Lending out ETH on Compound or AAVE, which are DeFi's primary lending and borrowing protocols, for a return above the ETH price appreciation is yield farming. There are over 1,500 monthly active users, MAU, on Plutus Capital's lending app, allowing users to lend, borrow, and earn interest. As for the PlutusSwap integration with Plutus Capital, we will be implementing the AMM into the existing app itself, leveraging on the efficiency of an AMM system instead of using a traditional order book or arbitraging from the various exchanges in order for the lending function to work. As we all belong to the same community, we will definitely keep everything in-house and leverage on the strength of one another to build a seamless ecosystem. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of the recent events, there's been a Uniswap listing. The PlutusSwap farm has been launched. That is the equitable distribution of the YPLT to early adopters. Initial liquidity has been locked for a year on Unicrypt. 100% of the pre-mined YPLT have been burnt, and the redistribution of devs YPLT generated through liquidity mining back to the community by an airdrop campaign. So there's been a lot going on. Congratulations should be in order for how far we've all been able to get at this stage. Now, there are a few more upcoming events. There are a partnership with a new DeFi protocol in the chat application industry. The dev community is growing in 3 parts of the world across 3 time zones, working around the clock on Plutus Chain and PlutusSwap. Now, the PlutusSwap AMM launch is due to launch very soon, in the upcoming weeks. The dev community is also working on a solution to reduce the issue of impermanent loss in existing AMM protocols, and the integrating of PlutusSwap onto the lending app. Next slide. And what we'd really like to do is, please connect with us. We are a community. We really need to kind of like keep in touch with each other. So if you have a look at the slide here, you can see all the ways we can all connect, and you can keep in touch with upcoming or current events. If there are any questions, please, we can go through them in the chat, or you can ask them here.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for the sharing. We have 8 questions. I don't think we can get through everything. Anthony will do his best to answer as much as we can till we have to move on to the next project. But Anthony, if you look at the Ask a Question tab, you could see the first question is a slightly sensitive one regarding the price of YPLT and why it crashed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is a it is a sensitive question. But one of the things about Plutus Capital is openness and transparency. So the question is why the price of YPLT crashed so hard, and how we're trying to looking at recovering. We can't determine the price on Uniswap, And we have to confess that the launch didn't go great. There was some miscommunication within the team. We hold our hands up to that. And we took some time to step aside and react to the initial concerns from the community. Firstly, the community was initially concerned about the Premine tokens sitting in the dev wallet. These tokens were initially meant to be sent to a time-locked contract. Many of you were worried that the team will dump the tokens. We understand that the DeFi community there's a lot of scams. I've been involved in crypto for a number of years now, and there are always a lot of scammers around. But what we're trying to do from the Plutus Capital side of things is, as I mentioned before, be open and transparent. And we have decided to burn all the Premine tokens in the wallet. No time lock. They're all going to be burnt, 100% burnt. And secondly, the PlutusSwap launch began with 2 YPLT pools and a couple of other farms supporting other projects, LP tokens. Now, although YLPTs received 10 times or more rewards as compared to other pools, our community felt that we should only adopt YPLT pools and reward only YPLT liquidity providers. And in response to that, we removed all other pools as the community requested. We will also be initiating a couple of airdrops before the AMM launch to encourage early adopters to come on board. I better point out here that community is key to our growth, and although our governance feature is yet to be released, we always listen to the community for the feedback, and development will still continue, even though the team holds little or no YPLT due to the majority of the tokens, 98% being burnt, and redistributing and distributing dev wallets YPLT back into the community via airdrop. And we won't be using Plutus Capital's existing resources for PlutusSwap development. Now, the PlutusSwap launch is not for the team to earn quick profits. We're committed to building an ecosystem to sustain a healthy DeFi environment.
Thank you, Anthony. I think that was very honest and great, addressing of the community. I think a lot of projects just will not entertain any question about price. So we appreciate that. We do have some time. So we still have time for hopefully 2 more questions, but I'll go on to the next one. Something a lot more positive. So YM is asking, what are some of the exciting updates that the community can look forward to?
Right. Okay. Now, in terms of apart from the upcoming launch, we're looking at expanding the user community, for example. So we're going to be having airdrop campaigns and promoting YPLT across all social channels. We're also finalizing details on how to migrate the existing Plutus Capital user base into PlutusSwap. One of our main priorities now is to work on the development for our upcoming product launch. Without product, it would be difficult for a sustainable and organic, community growth. We also have, an upcoming partner that we're going to be partnering with. Can't mention any details at the moment, but that's something that's exciting that's going to be in the works. I can't go into that into too much detail at the moment.
Okay, and I think just one last question. I think this is a good one. Since there are so many projects in DeFi right now, and new farms and swaps are coming up every day. Max is asking, what makes PlutusSwap different from the rest?
Right. Okay. Well, one of the, if it's a step to kind of answer the question in a different way, one of the major problems of current AMM is the issue of impermanent loss. So what we're doing is we're working on new mechanics that will aim to reduce that impermanent loss. This will be introduced with our smart contract upgrade in the very near future. Now, we can't remove this impermanent loss issue, but finding a solution to reduce it to the absolute minimum is the ideal goal for the entire DeFi community. Now, the goal of YPLT at its Genesis mining stage is to achieve equitable distribution to the community before launching the updated smart contract with an improved AMM design. We're going to make an official announcement once it's ready. Additionally, unlike many other AMMs out there, we already have an existing application with an existing community of users and developers with the same, who all have share and hold the same vision. As we all belong to the same community, we really want to keep this, as I mentioned before, to keep everything in-house and leverage on the strength of one another to build a seamless ecosystem. For example, a community app of Plutus Capital and technical aspect of Plutus Swaps. So harnessing on the power, the real power of DeFi. I hope that kind of answers the question. Sorry, I went around the houses a little bit on that one.
Yeah, I see a question that Kelly asked here, and it also was asked by two other anonymous members of the community via the AMA Google Doc. So I think I'll bring it up. The question is about the intention for the initial Premine tokens. They were burned, and why did you guys decide to have it in the first place?
Right. Okay. Let's see. Well, the proposed time lock YPLT was supposed to be a community governed fund, whereby the YPLT token holders were to get to decide on how we allocate these tokens for future development and marketing purposes. Now, although PlutusSwap is currently just a farm for equitable distribution of the YPLT to the community, we will be releasing our own AMM system in the future. However, in order to catch up with AMM pioneers such as Uniswap, Balancer, SushiSwap, etc., PlutusSwap intended to allocate a sum of YPLT, whereby the early community gets to decide on how PlutusSwap should incentivize more users to come on board and join the ecosystem. However, we understand that the community's concern regarding the project's holding reserves. We understand the community's concern regarding the projects holding the reserves. So although a blockchain in general is supposed to be a trustless system, relationship between the community and the project is still built on trust. So therefore, we decided to take the first step and begin a 100% token burn instead of sending the pre-mined YPLT to a time lock. Now, the truth is, regardless of the time lock or not, PlutusSwap is here to stay.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, and the next question is about your user community, and I've seen this question asked in a couple of other ways via the community. But I think, I'll just read it out loud. How do you plan to expand the user community in the next few months?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I may have mentioned this, touched on this earlier, but yeah. Apart from we got an upcoming launch, and we're going to be having airdrop campaigns, and we're going to be promoting YPLT across the full range of social chat channels. Discord, Twitter, Telegram, etc., etc. We're also working on finalizing the details of how to migrate our Plutus Capital user base into PlutusSwap, which is going to be a pretty big job. The main focus is to work on the development for the product launch, and really try and make this a sustainable and organically growing community.
So, Anthony, I know you mentioned just now that you can't disclose too much about the upcoming partner, but someone asked whether can you disclose, and I think it could be reasons because perhaps you guys are still negotiating. I don't know. Do you want to comment a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of not being able to mention any names, but like I said before, we'll reveal all the details, all the relevant details, once this partnership has been agreed. However, it doesn't mean, just to add some clarity to this, it doesn't mean that we're partnering with a random and anonymous DeFi product that's new to the crypto game. Our partner, a potential partner, is going to be an existing crypto project, and that crypto project's been around since 2018. They are an existing chat e-commerce application, and that application allows users to spend, buy, and sell crypto within the app. And then it also rewards users who stake their tokens on their very own open source wallet. Now, our partner has already launched their own mainnet this year, and they've successfully migrated from the Ethereum network to their own proprietary blockchain. So they've got a community of around, over 100,000 users, and they have a number of blockchain partners within their ecosystem. Now, what I can also say about these guys is that their upcoming DeFi protocol will allow users to farm tokens and spend on their app. Now, this partnership allows the Plutus Capital and PlutusSwap ecosystem to ride in a high volume industry, such as chat e-commerce applications. Now, with the lending and chat application partnership in place, we're looking at and looking forward to every possible integration between these two different industries. And a detailed partnership report will be announced, in the coming weeks, once our partner is ready to launch. Now, of course, partnerships won't end here. We'll be updating the community once another partnership is confirmed.
All right, great. So I guess this puts the rumors to bed. It's not that they haven't got anything sorted. Looks like there's a fair bit of detail. So we look forward to that. Hopefully, maybe when it's announced, we could invite you guys back to share. But for now, okay, someone has a question. We have another 6 minutes before we have to move on to the next segment. But since the community have another question, Anthony, do we still have time for a last question from?
Sure.
Oh, okay. That's a speculative one. Will YPLT moon soon? Should I buy now? Okay, so I think on this note, as the event organizers, nothing that's being said here is financial advice by Block Life Asia. all of the all of the discussion here is purely on the project, and I'll let Anthony decide what's the best way to address this.
Well, look, one of the things about Plutus Capital and what we're trying to build within this community is openness and trust. And I think that in any crypto project, any investor should we, in terms of Plutus Capital, PlutusSwap, there are exciting times ahead. It's a fantastic project. I think in terms of investment, it's a great opportunity. We have a great opportunity to invest here and make a substantial profit. However, in terms of investing, please don't invest what you can't afford to not lose, but you don't want to overinvest yourself. We've got a very good opportunity here for investors to make a considerable return on their income, but please don't overextend yourself. That's the way I would say it. Look at it.
Thanks, Anthony. I think that is very responsible advice and very fair too, right? It's not, he's not just saying buy, but buy our tokens, but really, do your own research. Don't invest what you can't lose.
Yeah, do your research. Obviously, I'm promoting Plutus Capital. I'm part of Plutus Capital and PlutusSwap because I believe in the project. However, please do your own research and make up your own minds.
Thank you, Anthony. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.